Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name's Larry. My call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November. I'd like to welcome you back to my shack here in Northwest Oregon. This is officially Ham Radio Live Show 66. Reason I laughed at that was because actually last night, it just was something that happened. It was pretty cool. We did a show last night called CQ Calling. Now, it's an homage to the old shortwave broadcasters. They used to say CQ Calling. They would. And it pays honor to them because a lot of those stations are long gone now. And it's a way to kind of remember the heritage of radio. So Friday nights starting at 17:30 Pacific. Now, 17:30 Pacific translates on a Friday night to 00:30 UTC, which is on a Saturday. Makes it a little confusing. So 17:30 Friday nights, we will do a show weekly called CQ Calling. We're just going to go on frequency. It will always be on 40 meters. Even when there's contests, we will find an open spot. So we will do our best by the grace of God to make sure that happens. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Halloween, the 31st of October. Wow. Want to thank Hans at QRP Labs. Hans sent us a great kit for whisper mode. Now, this is whisper for new hams or for future hams is something really interesting. It's called Weak Signal Propagation Reporter. Now, you don't call out, okay? You're not using a microphone or anything like that. All it does, essentially, it's a little transmitter you build. Here's parts of it right here. You can kind of see a little bit of the parts. So it's kind of like a adult electronic Lego set. Okay, that's basically it. And you build it. It's all built, and essentially you build the whole thing together and you assemble it. We asked Hans if he could please send us the Whisper Kit transmitter for 40 meters, because 40 is my favorite. That's where you get a lot of DX. I'd like to see how the antennas propagate. Now, what this does, essentially, I'll show you a picture. It's going to start small, but we'll get it bigger, okay? It shows how well your signal is being received in different areas of the world. Like in this example, the person lives in South Africa, all right? That's why all of the signals come from there. So they're using an antenna, and other stations that are connected to the whisper mode that work silently in the background, literally less than, well, basically about a quarter watt. Believe it or not, a quarter watt of power. That's hardly anything. So they use very little power and they just transmit this little beacon signal. It's like a beacon. And then other stations that are tuned to whisper mode respond back. So it takes hours to do this. Just runs in the background. It's kind of neat. Check your computer. You find out who's responding back, because those other whisper transmitter receivers, they are responding back to your call. Pretty neat. It's on a timing system. So we want to thank Hans at QRP Labs. Hans can be found, by the way, at www.qrplabs.com. You can get different transceivers. You can get different ones depending upon what bands you want to work. And you can work multiple bands. You don't have to work just 40. You can work 20, 40, 80, 160, whatever. Hans has everything for you, and he's a really neat guy. So QRP Labs, again, www.qrplabs.com. That's how you find out about the whisper mode, the cool digital mode. Ham radio, you could do so much more than just use a microphone. Happy Saturday, everybody. All right. I want to talk to you a little bit also about the brand new Yaesu FTDX10. Yeah, this is it. Now, this was just announced yesterday. I want to personally take a moment to thank Jim McCusker, who came on the show last night during CQ Calling. By the way, CQ Calling every Friday night at 17:30 Pacific. Jim's call sign is Kilo 3 Yankee Oscar. He's from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And he told us the news that this product was just introduced, and it literally just was introduced. The news broke from Yaesu yesterday. Now, this is a HF through 6, so it'll go 160 up to, over 50 megahertz. UK people, you guys in the UK, you'll get 4 meters. So that's pretty cool. 5-inch color touchscreen will work, as you can see in this picture, with a 3D scope. It will not have VC tune. Okay, so no VC tune on this product. So that's one way in which it is different than the Yaesu 101D and MP. Now, size-wise, this is about, if you take a look at it, if you've ever seen a Yaesu 991A, my father-in-law, who I love with all my heart, Kilo November 6, India Ocean Papa, he has a 991A. It's a shack in the box. Pretty cool. It'll run from 160 all the way to 70 centimeters. Now, it's comparison to a 991A, about 2 inches higher, half an inch deeper, and about a half inch taller, and it weighs about 3 pounds more. So it's basically, between that and an ICOM IC7300, right? I mean, really, I think that's what this is going to be competing with. Now, it's really close in size to the 7300. It really is. But its sensitivity and selectivity will be much, much better. It'll be very close to the front end of a Yaesu 101. Options for this radio will include the optional SP30 speaker, as well as a 300 hertz roofing filter for folks that love Morse code. Those are the only 2 announced options to begin with. It's 10.5 inches wide, a little over 10 1/3 inches deep, and about 3.5 inches high. The weight, 13 pounds. The size of an IC7300, 9.5 inches wide, 9.37 inches deep, and 3.7 inches wide. Plus, it weighs about 9.25 pounds. So, a little heavier. Okay, a little heavier. If you look at it, the IC7300 has a 4.3-inch touchscreen. The Yaesu FTDX10 will have a 5-inch screen. Okay, it will go from 500 to 100 watts on Morse code, sideband, FM, radio teletype, and packet. It'll do 5 watts to 25 watts on AM. It's a hybrid SDR similar to the 101 series, only in a smaller package. So far, it looks like introductory prices for the Yaesu FTDX10. Look at that. It's beautiful. What I see here is some similarities to my 101 MP. Very much some similarities there. But I also see a little bit of similarities to my father-in-law's 991 Alpha. But look at that screen. 5 inches. Beautiful. Looks like MSRP early announcements somewhere around $1,975 US, $1,525 in Europe. So in the UK, I should say. So that is what the FTDX10 looks like. Thanks to Jim K3 Whiskey Oscar for giving us the heads up on that. That just released yesterday, the news on that. In fact, it's not even on the Yaesu website yet. You're getting heads up here first. Like I should have breaking news music or something. All right, let's help you with the test. Our whole goal here, and we don't monetize the channel. We do not do that. You don't see ads here. I hate seeing ads, but I know some people rely on them. They like to get money from them. I don't care how many subscribers you get, we get on this channel. I will never monetize this place. So keep that in mind, but please hit the bell icon and the subscribe button. The subscribe button is important because it will help us be found on YouTube. The bell icon will remind you right away when we go live. So when I go live, it'll give you a little message on your phone that we're live, and away we go. All right. We talked about the general exam the last couple of days. Let's go to the basic one. This is for technician exam in the U.S. I'm going to try and cover these as quickly as I can so we can make a few QSOs. Question 1, what health hazard is presented by electrical current flowing through the body? Now, again, these are questions that are exactly on the current FCC technician license exam in the United States. the answers given are exactly the same as you'll find on the test. So this is exactly a practice test, essentially. So, answers given. A, it may cause injury by heating tissue. B, it may disrupt the electrical functions of cells. C, it may cause involuntary muscle contractions. Or D, all of these choices are correct. The answer is D. All of these choices are correct. When you get shocked, essentially, is what this is about. It will heat your tissue. It can disrupt the electrical functions of the cells in your body. We know it can cause involuntary muscle contractions. If you've ever seen a show where unfortunately someone's had to be tased because our police have had to take that action due to a non-compliance issue, you know that they shake and all of that, which is unfortunate. But again, the answer is D. It does all of these things. Okay, question 2. Which of the following is an important safety precaution to observe when putting up an antenna tower? Now, this can confuse new hams or our buddies, our good buddies who are future hams. A, wear a ground strap connected to your wrist at all times. That does not exist, by the way. B, insulate the base of the tower to avoid lightning strikes. C, look for and stay clear of any overhead electrical wires. Or D, all of these choices are correct. Now, to a future ham, man, this sounds, it could be every one of these things, right? Hey, a ground strap, you want to be grounded, all that? Yeah, important. Insulate the base to avoid lightning strikes. Yeah, it sounds reasonable. No, just look and stay clear of overhead electrical wires. That's the main thing. And that means if it falls, okay, if it falls, make sure to stay clear of electrical wires, okay? You don't want to have it hitting a power line. That's the last thing you want, okay? Next questions, on the technician. Which amateur radio stations may make contact with an amateur radio station on the International Space Station using 2 meters in the 70 centimeter band frequencies? A, only members of amateur radio clubs at NASA facilities. B, any amateur holding a technician or higher class license. C, only the astronauts' family members who are hams. Wouldn't that be interesting? D, contacts with the ISS are not permitted on amateur radio frequencies. The answer is B. Any amateur holding a technician class or higher license can contact one of the astronauts on the International Space Station. Now, here's something really cool. There are programs out there on the internet that you can track satellites with, okay? If you have a radio that works 2 meters and 70 centimeters, it can track the satellite as it goes over, including the International Space Station. That's pretty cool because when it comes over, if you find out the frequency they're on, you can contact them for a number of minutes depending upon how close the orbit is to where your station is. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hi, Ernest. Always good to see you. And thank you. Oh, man. Thank you for the thumbs up. You just made my day. That did. Thanks, Ernest. God bless you, man. You just made my day. You really did. All right, let's get to the second question that's on this one for the technician. What is the normal term for an FCC-issued primary station operator amateur radio license? And this is what it means. How long do you have your license when you are licensed? How long does it last? That's really what it means. 5 years, life, 10 years, 20 years. The answer is 10. Your radio license, your ham radio license, will last for 10 years. So in that last year, make sure and just reapply. You don't have to retest. You don't retest. You just reapply. And make sure that your license is back instated. That's all you got to do. Next questions. What may occur if data signals arrive via multiple paths? Now, this is a situation where, say, for example, you send out a signal and it comes via e-scatter, which can make the signal kind of disperse in lots of different directions, or if it arrives during long path and short path propagation. Say, for example, you live in California, right? And you're contacting someone in Alaska, all right? Now, you contact a station way in the north of Alaska, and the signal bounces up and it hits the station there. But There's also, remember, antennas will transmit in different directions unless it's a directional. It might be able to transmit around the world by long path as well. That's true. So if you're using data, this is digital modes, what happens if it arrives via multiple paths? A, transmission rates can be increased by a factor equal to the number of separate paths observed. That sounds very plausible, by the way. B, transmission rates must be decreased by a factor equal to the number of separate paths observed. C, no significant changes will occur if the signals are transmitted using FM. D, error rates are likely to increase. The answer is D. You will have error rates most likely because it's receiving the same signal at very different times, like within, milliseconds of each other, but also in different strengths of frequency, because you get something long path and short path, you usually get an echo. But when that happens when you're using data or digital modes, it can cause a problem. So that's the answer. Next question, what are the frequency limits of the VHF spectrum? Now this is, HF, remember, goes from 3 to 30, okay? 3 to 30 megahertz, all right. When you get to VHF, that's above the HF. Remember, VHF means very high frequency. So HF is high frequency. VHF for new hams means very high frequency. In the old days, when we had televisions that were analog, not digital, we all knew about VHF because our televisions had a knob that had a VHF tuner and a UHF tuner. Made it simple. But now things are digital and that's all changed. So the answer's given, and look carefully at these answers. This is what can throw you. They're given in both kilohertz and megahertz. See that? Look carefully at those answers. A, 30 to 300 kilohertz. B, 30 to 300 megahertz. C, 300 to 3000 kilohertz, or D, 300 to 3000 megahertz. The answer is B. It's from 30 to 300 megahertz. So when you're on your radio and you're at 30 megs, that's basically, when you're right there at 30, you're at the top of the 10-meter band. That's essentially where the FM band starts. Kind of basically starts there. Then it goes all the way up to 300. So you folks working on 2 meters, you're up at 144. You're right in that area, right? And then you get 70 centimeters. That's UHF. That's when you're at like 440 and higher. So that's when it splits away from VHF to UHF. So you folks that have things like a Kenwood TS2000 or a Yaesu 991A, that's kind of a shack in the box, you get all those frequencies. Well, that's pretty cool because you get not only an HF receiver, but also a VHF and a UHF receiver and transceiver too. Not bad. Next question. And again, for those that are hams, this might be pretty boring, and I don't mean it to be, but the goal of the channel is to try and get people licensed. So that's why we do it. This will get done here shortly. Which of the following controls could be used if the voice pitch of a single sideband signal seems too high or too low? Let me give you a good example of this. I'm going to find a signal. Let's go to move the rig cam over for you so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? Okay.
Probably about 14, 16 inches
now,
of snow on the ground right now. And at least
I want you to do me a favor and listen to how everything changes when you tune just a bit. You tune just slightly off of frequency, okay?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Listen. Hear that? The clarifier is now on. Barely off frequency. Now, this really goes back to the old days. This goes back to the old days when a lot of radios needed this because some radios tended to drift off of frequency. So you would need a clarifier to be able to adjust it, or an RIT control. That's why this answer is clarifier or RIT. Next question. What's the name for the flow of electrons in an electric circuit? Again, flow of electrons in an electric circuit. It is current. Current. When you see the word flow of electrons, think of a flow of water. Okay? Use that as a little trick to remind yourself. Flow. Okay? You know how a river flows? You have current, a lot of current in the water. Works the same way, exactly like a river. So always remember, flow of electrons in electric current is, in a circuit is current. All right, we're going to go just 4 more questions. We'll go quick, I promise. Okay, next, which of the following is equal to 500 milliwatts? It is 0.5 watts. Again, you're looking at just moving that decimal point in front of the 5. Best way to do it, okay? Next, what is the proper abbreviation for megahertz? This is important. This is because the person who basically discovered these frequencies was named Heinrich Hertz. He was a German mathematician. He was brilliant. Now, we honor him in the metric system and in radio by his name. So because of that, it is mega because it's, it's the distance. Kilo is 1,000. Mega is, 100,000. So we've got mega and then hertz, HZ. That H is because his name was Hertz. It's capitalized, just like it is if it's kilohertz. It would be K, a capital K, capital H, lower Z, because the man's name was Hertz. That's where it all came from. Hey, Servicing IQ, welcome to the show. 2 more questions and away we go. Technician exam on the US test. What do the symbols of an electrical schematic represent? We just went real big on my screen, by the way. I know you didn't get that. I hope not, because my computer right now is... If you can see what I see right now, you'd be going, huh? Why is it doing that? Anyway, A, electrical components, B, logic states, C, digital codes, or D, traffic nodes. The answer is electrical components. It's like when you're looking at a, floor plan for a house, right? Where, here's the fireplace. This is where the living room is. This is where this is. Electrical schematics explain how the different circuit elements are laid out. That's it. It's a roadmap for the actual device. Pretty simple to remember. You've got capacitors, resistors, you've got diodes, and you've got your transistors and all that stuff. So it's electrical components. Last question. Which of the following devices or circuit changes an alternating current into a varying direct current signal? This can be confusing to a lot of people. All right. A, transformer, and that's the one that might get you. B, rectifier. C, amplifier. D, reflector. Okay, it's not a reflector. No, there's no such thing there. Okay, unless you're using like a directional antenna. There you got reflectors. C, amplifier. Of course not. B, it's a rectifier. It rectifies the signal from alternating current to direct current. A transformer changes the amount of power that the signal starts with, or the current starts with, changes that to another power. It transforms it from, say, 120 watts to 60 watts, right? Now, a rectifier changes the code, the sine wave of the electrical path, and makes it into direct current. That's what rectifiers do. Yep. So remember, if you see that question, and you're looking at what changes alternating current to direct current, it's always a rectifier, not a transformer. All right. Something tells me to do one last question. Let's do it. What device converts the RF input and output of a transceiver to another band? Okay, I'm glad we did this. This is good. This is real good. Okay. High pass filter, low pass filter, C is a transverter, D is a phase converter. This is something very important because radios now, okay, when you look at radios, we got a lot of HF, okay? You got your, 3 to 30 megahertz plus 6 meters. That's what they do. Now, on the back of many radios, they have what's called a transverter connector. What that does is it allows you to connect another transceiver to your transceiver, allowing it to work, say, on 2 meters, 2 meters and 70 centimeters. You can work higher if you want to. That's the input to your radio. It's a transverter. So it allows it to do more than what the manufacturer sent it with. It's very cool. It's a nice option you can have on your radio. So what device converts the RF input? And keep in mind, it's RF in and out of a transceiver. And then it says to another band. That's your cue right there. There's your big clue, to another band. You would be converting, say, for example, your HF radio to work on 2 meters, which is VHF. That allows you to do that. You need a transverter. So that's what you get. So remember, RF in and out on a transceiver to another band is a transverter. Last one. What is a symptom of RF feedback in a transmitter or transceiver? A, excessive SWR at the antenna connection. B, the transmitter will not stay on the desired frequency. That's called drift. C, reports of garbled, distorted, or unintelligible voice transmissions. Or D, frequent blowing of power supply fuses. The answer is C. If you have RF feedback in a transmitter or in the transceiver, you will get reports back from other stations about garbled, distorted, or voice that you just can't understand. That's it. Pretty simple stuff. Thanks for joining us on Ham Radio Live. By the way, Fridays, every Friday from now on, we will be doing the CQ calling show. Why is it called CQ calling and not calling CQ? It's actually in homage to the shortwave broadcasters of old. A lot of times they would call to go on the air. They would play little tones and stuff, and they would say, CQ calling, CQ calling. It's basically calling the world to come and listen. That's what the show will be called. It will always be on 40 meters, even though we do it on Friday nights. I know we're going to deal with contests. We'll find an open spot, okay? And we'll work that spot by God's grace, and we will call out to as many stations as we can. I'll do my best to make sure it's above 7.175 so generals can take part in it as well. That's Friday nights, 17:30 p.m. That's 17:30 Pacific time. It's kind of a weird one because if you go to UTC, it becomes 00:30 on Saturday. So remember, if you're in the United States, Friday nights, basically 5:30 Pacific. Remember that? You're golden. Let's look at the rig, see what we can do today. Hopefully a few calls to say hi, we'll see. There's somebody right here.
I love this watching drive their horses and their wagons and everything. It's just amazing. Okay, yes, the fact check. I mean, it's real stuff. Those guys are really riding the horses.
Okay, now right now the current time is 3:50. That means it's 6:50 on the East Coast. It's dark.
Yeah. I mean, it's
okay. So 40 is closing up on the East Coast. So let's do this. Let's move over to 40. Let's see what 40 looks like, if there's anything. I'm going to get the amplifier up a little bit. Actually, turn the attenuator down. That'll help. Get 1 amp on just to see if we can find some signals. All in the interest of saving time. Not much. So we're going to be on 20.
Of the area out there, and John Ford said, "Yeah, man." So he came out there, and that's what started the Westerns, and they hired the local.
By the way, thank you for coming to the show. I hope you enjoyed the information about the brand new Yaesu FTDX10. It's a miniature FTDX 101. Now it's missing the VC tune and some other stuff, but receiver-wise, oh boy, that's going to be a big one.
Another one that saved their butt out there was Thelma and Louise. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Try and tune up, make sure we can get as much as we can to say hello, and just, try not to disturb them too much.
Again, they used a lot of local people and, gave them employment. Yeah.
Kilo 7 Hotel November for a quick one.
Kilo 7 Hotel November, weak but readable.
Very good. Well, I'll take weak. I'm weak. It's okay. I'm on live on YouTube on a show called Ham Radio Live, where we show people who would like to be in ham radio what it's like to operate a ham radio. My name's Larry. Lima Alpha, Romeo Yankee, QTH, Independence, Oregon. You're a 5-9. Nice signal here into Northwest Oregon today.
Okay, I think you said your name was Larry?
QSL, it is Larry, and I'm in Independence, Oregon, about 65 miles southwest of Portland.
Okay, Larry, I swung my antenna a little bit up on you there. My name is Ken, Kilo Echo November, Ken. I'm in Florida, northeast Florida. My call is November. You're about a 4x4.
Thanks, Ken, on the 4x4. I have part of your call, then we had some drift. We're losing 40. 20. 20's going long on us here. So November 4, Kilo, and then I've got question marks.
Sierra. Last letter is Sierra.
QSL, November 4, Kilo Sierra. Thank you, Ken. Look, we don't want to disturb your QSL here you're having. I just wanted to call real quick to say hello. If you have a second, one question we like to ask hams on the show is what ham radio has meant to them, because we're trying to encourage people to come on the air. Would you mind sharing maybe a story about what ham radio means to you, Ken?
Well, sorry, Larry, but the QFB is taking you out. I'm not hearing you anymore.
Yep, Florida.
So I'm sorry I can't help you out with your show, but maybe you can find a stronger signal. So good luck to you, and thanks.
Bless his heart. No problem, Ken. 73 from Oregon, November 4, Kilo Sierra, Kilo 7 Hotel November. All the best and God bless.
Hey, Larry, sure sorry the signals aren't better. I would have liked to talk to you a little longer, but we'll catch you another time.
Nice guy. That is Ken.
Clear with you.
We will send him a copy of the show because that's what we like to do. You know, last night, well, it's okay. So we did CQ calling, right? It was show number 1 for CQ calling. No joke, my friends. I'm in the freezing cold, and it's easier for me. Now, this is a true story. It's easier for me to concentrate on what I'm doing because I need to find the exact time of the QSO. I need to know the frequency, what the sent number was for receive, like 5.9. 5.9, by the way, for future hams. 5 meaning you're very intelligible. As you go down in numbers, you're less intelligible. That's what the 5 means. 9 is the signal strength that's on your S meter. So on your S meter, it goes from basically 0 up to 9. Then it starts going plus 10, plus 20 or 40, plus whatever, right? So like mine up here, it says plus 20, plus 40, plus 60 dB. That's what it does. So when you hear 5.9, that's what it means. 5 meaning very intelligible. The next number is what the the S meter says. Keep in mind that most hams will say 5.9 just out of kindness. And plus it's easy. Now in Florida, we were picked up at a 4x4. His signal strength meter, his S meter, was saying 4. Okay, so pretty low. We were just above the noise floor. 4 on the intelligibility. So he could barely hear me because I was barely above the noise floor. That's how it works. Okay, so that's explaining the 5.9 thing, the signal reports, as well as, what last night was like. Literally, so I'm going through all these QSOs and I'm logging them to make sure they're all in. Then I made sure to send the show to each one of those folks that we had on the show last night. Every Friday night, we will do the same thing. On 40 meters, 1730 Pacific time, 0030 Saturday, technically, Zulu, we will be doing CQ calling. It's a special show just to make QSOs and show people a whole bunch of fun about ham radio. Let's try to snag one more.
Radio Delta, Florida.
A big signal. I guess our friend Ken Now, see, if this is Ken, if this is our friend Ken, November 4, Kilo Sierra. Hold on. Because I thought we were here with him. If this is him, we're hitting him strong because gray line, where he's at, this is going to be powerful going west, but east is going to be a struggle. That's why it was hard for him to hear us. Over here, we got another strong one. I can use the mouse on this as well and just control it via the mouse. Say, for example, on the 101, if I want to tune over here to this signal, I just click it and it'll take me right there. Keep in mind, for people that are interested in buying a 101, you're going to need to use like a Logitech 3 series, which is kind of a backwards, it's kind of, back a ways for technology. Not as good as... What the heck is a digital mode doing there? That's crazy.
Everybody else okay. Rick, you're about a 5 and 5.
Digital mode should be below, just so you know, on 20. It should be below 14,150.
Alan, Florida, just checking in to say hey.
And this time I'm definitely changing.
We'll tune, and looks like another Florida. Florida will come in strong again because they're just past gray line, going west. Strong signal. Going from us here in the Pacific Northwest down to Florida, they'll have a more difficult time hearing us because they're now in the dark and they're working 20 meters. That's why.
All right, Mazda. Yeah, very good. Thank you for the 5 and 9. You're about 5 and 5. It's just the way the band is working right now. But in 5 minutes, it could be just the opposite. In the station in the Caribbean, you were booming earlier. So, everything's changing. It's getting dark here pretty hard, so I'm in the change. But I got up a little too late. I took a nap. It's just damn pneumonia stuff. You take naps. So I got a little late in here, but hello, everyone. And it's good to hear people, especially on a weekend. K4WDX.
Kilo 7 Hotel November for a quick one.
Yeah, Victor Francis, and you're booming down here.
Station is in the Caribbean that he's talking to.
I hope everything's going well with you. It's good to hear you as well. Everything is good, Al. Nice to hear you. I'll turn my antenna to you. You're 5657.
This signal here is coming from the Caribbean.
It's going to be loud, so. Did you hear Frankie in there, too?
Kilo 7 Hotel November for a quick one, please.
Yeah, man. There's a good morning.
There's a Kilo 7. He wants to do a quick one.
Roger, thank you, guys. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November. I'm in Independence, Oregon. My name is Larry. Lima Alpha Romeo Yankee. I do a live stream YouTube show called Ham Radio Live to encourage people to join the hobby and get licensed. I just wanted to say a quick hello down there to all of you. What are your call signs? Over.
Ram Whiskey 0, Romeo, Italy, Charlie, Radio, Phoenix. We have Masa, JE1LET in Tokyo. Yeah, for sure. My call sign, and there's a couple guys all around the country and one guy in Japan. There's Florida, too, so we're kind of a big round table. My call sign is K4 Whiskey Delta X-Ray, K4WDX, and my name is Al, and I'm in Florida.
Kilo 4 Whiskey Delta X-Ray, Kilo 7 Hotel November, 5-9 strong, 5-9 booming into Oregon. Great signal. Thank you so much. Who else is on frequency? I heard there was someone in the Caribbean. Is that right?
Yeah, the other station is in the Caribbean. That is correct.
That's fantastic. Well, we've listened just a little bit. If anyone would like to jump in, we'll do that. If not, we don't want to disturb you guys. That's the last thing I want to do. We just wanted to say hello real quick, and thank you so much for accepting the call. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November. I'll be on the side in case anyone wants to say hello live on YouTube.
Kilo 7 Hotel November. Okay, no problem at all, my friend. That's what we're here for. The better for sure. If you want to contact someone else and if they can hear you, please do so. I'm listening. This is K4WDX.
Kilo 7 Hotel November, located in Independence, Oregon. Can anyone else hear me that's on this frequency? We're live on YouTube with a show called Ham Radio Live. It's to encourage people to join the hobby.
It's Yaesu Hotel.
Anybody else hear him but me?
I've got a Whiskey 8 Hotel, then it got cut off.
Whiskey 8 Hotel. Foxtrot Yankee, Hamilton, Finance.
Know the Foxtrot, what's up?
Okay, I've got Whiskey 8 Hotel Foxtrot Yankee, QSL.
Yeah, we're trying to let the other guy work the people. He's introducing amateur radio to a group of people. Do you hear him?
Yeah, he's really, really
Roger. If you can work him, please do so. That's our goal right now.
Okay, well, first of all, Whiskey 8 Hotel Foxtrot Yankee, great signal. You're 5'7", peaking at 5'9" here into Oregon. My name's Larry, Lima Alpha Romeo Yankee. Independence, Oregon is my QTH. It's about 65 miles southwest of Portland, about 40 miles due east of the Pacific Ocean. Over.
Roger. Very fine, Larry, and it's nice to meet you, and we'll be on with you, and you're in beautiful Oregon right now as well. 73, my friend. Thank you.
No, thank you. It's been my honor. I'll make sure and send a copy of the show to all of your QRZ pages. That's my promise. You'll have a copy of the show. The Caribbean station, what is the call sign of the Caribbean station? Because I can barely hear you. I'd love to make a contact.
Very nice. I can hear it. Very nice. I can. Not enough for QSL, right?
Okay, guys, sorry about that. It's a little in the noise floor on my end. I'm sorry. I better probably back out. I've disturbed you enough, and you've been very kind to be on the show. I'm going to give you a 73. We'll listen for a few moments on the side. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November. All the best to all of you. God bless you. Stay safe, and goodbye, everybody.
Great signal here.
I've got a JA1. What's the rest? I'm sorry? Roger that. Thank you very much. Julia Alpha 1, Lima Echo Tango, Kilo 7 Hotel November, QTH Independence, Oregon. My name is Larry, Lima Alpha Romeo Yankee, and you've got a good signal, 5'7" here into Oregon. I love it. You're very, very intelligible, and it's a very good signal. Thank you so much for being here today.
Kilo 7 Hotel November, this is Julia Echo 1, Julia Alpha 1, but the Japan Echo 1, Lima Echo Tango. Good morning, Rocky, and you're about 5'7", 5'9". The station from the Caribbean is Victor Papa 2, Mike November, India. Victor Papa 2, Mike November, India. Here's on the Montserrat. If you have any direction or antenna, put your beam to the Caribbean, Rocky. Over.
Roger, thank you guys. Look, I don't want to hold you up. You're having a nice conversation. I don't want to break that up. Please forgive me for that. I appreciate what you've done. This is so wonderful. I know a lot of folks will like it. Thank you to all of you. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November. I'll be on the side. God bless you. 73, folks.
Hey, Larry, do you hear Phoenix?
Just a second. Go ahead. If he can transmit, let me find out.
Whiskey 0, Romeo, India, Charlie, Rick and Phoenix. You're 5657 down here today.
Okay, Whiskey 0. Could I get the rest of the call real quick? It's a good signal.
Yeah, Whiskey 0, Romeo, Italy, Charlie, W0RIC.
Roger, Whiskey Romeo. Wait, sorry. Whiskey 0, Romeo, India, Charlie. Kilo 7 Hotel November, 5'9", here in Oregon. Great signal. Appreciate you coming and being on the show. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll make sure and send you a copy of it. My QTH Independence, Oregon, about 65 miles southwest of Portland. Thank you very much, my friend.
Okay, Larry, have a good afternoon. Don't apologize for breaking in. That's what ham radio is all about. We're all out here having a fun time with the hobby, so appreciate you jumping in and saying hi. 7-3 to you, and glad you got to speak to the group. A7 Hotel November, W0RIC. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you, guys. 73 to all of you. God bless you. Thanks for your kindness. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November, clear.
Kilowatt 7, Hotel Uniform, Victor Papa 2, Mike, November, India.
Could you come back again with your call? I'm sorry.
Kilowatt 7, Hotel November. Kilowatt 7, Hotel November. Victor Papa 2, Mike, November, India. Victor Papa 2, Mike, November, India. Frankie from the Caribbean. Frankie on Montserrat, Roger.
Frankie, hey bud, how are you? We've talked before many times. My goodness, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I see that we've spoken a number of times there. Good to hear you again. You kind of like with me today. Yeah, I've only got you about a 5 and 5. 5 and 5 at this time, but once there's no station seen up pretty close by, I can copy you. Take care, and we'll see you again another time. Thanks for answering my call. Kilowatt 7, Hotel November. Victor Papa 2, Mike, November, India.
Victor Papa 2, Mike, November, India, Kilo 7, Hotel November. All the best. Thanks, Frankie. God bless you guys. See ya. 73 to all you guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
You know, folks, that's why you should be in ham radio. That's why. Now, that's Florida. That's the Eastern Caribbean, just above Venezuela. That's Tokyo. And that's Phoenix, Arizona. All in the same frequency, just hanging out, talking. Would you like to have that kind of fun? Wouldn't you? I mean, this is what ham radio is all about. And our hope is that we can help you to get on the air. And for those of you who might be technicians and want to license up to general so you can do the same thing, we want to help you with that. Or for those that are generals and want to be extras, I'd love to help you with that. We'll do extra tests once per week because it gets more technical. It just does. General and technicians, what I focus on purpose, because I'm trying to help people to license or license up to a point that they can make calls like that. That's what you can do. You really can. And I've got to tell you, it's really, really special. Larry says about RF check on the microphone. It's actually, it has to do with the transmitter here being very close to the processing gear right there. That's what it has to do with. If I had longer XLR cables to move these to a shielded cabinet or someplace a little farther away there, I could do that. Probably the best thing would just to be build, a copper Faraday cage around the processing gear. Probably take care of it. Sorry for the disturbance. Didn't mean for that to happen to you there in Iowa, okay? All right, guys, that's it for the show. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. Remember, CQ Calling, a show on Friday night, 1730 Pacific. That's 0030 technically on Saturday on UTC. We'll do it every night on 40 meters. The frequencies will vary because we've got to find an opening, and Friday nights usually are contesting nights. But that's also when most people are on the air. If you've noticed, Friday and Saturday nights and Sundays are when people tend to really be on their ham radios. That's why we want to get you on the air. We want to be able to show you what it's like to work when there's lots of people working, just like those wonderfully kind people who I want to take a moment to thank right now. All right. Want to thank Ken in Florida. He is November 4, Kilo Sierra. Also would like to thank Juliet Echo 1, Lima Echo Tango in Japan, in Tokyo. Thank you very much. Whiskey Oscar Romeo India Charlie. Thank you so much for being on the show. Also, would like to take a moment to thank Kilo 4, Whiskey Delta X-Ray. Thank you for coming as well. It's been a great show. Appreciate that very much. See you Friday as well. We'll have some shows during the week to help with licensing and maybe make a QSO for blessed to do so. Happy Halloween, everybody. Until next time, God bless you. Thanks for watching the show, and thanks to everybody who came back to make this QSO show possible. Get your license and get on the air. We want you here. Next time, everybody. See you later.